Taking pictures and selling them is not only a great way to make money, but it's also very fun to do. In this video series, I'm going to be talking about stock photography online. And so this is where you upload your photos to stock photography agencies and their websites, and then you would get paid a commission or royalty whenever somebody purchases your pictures from these websites. And stock photography is never going away and will always be in demand. Although I must warn you, it is harder to make money selling photos nowadays than it is before, say a few years ago, because of the competition. However, there are people who are making six figures per year with stock photography. And this video series was created to help you rise above your competition. Lastly, I just want to say that stock photography is a great learning experience, and you're going to become a much greater photographer because of it. It's also satisfying when you see companies using your work and knowing that your work has value. And like I said earlier, it's fun. Now here are some quick photo tips for you. Only high quality photos are going to be accepted into stock photo sites. So if you want to have high quality photos, you need a high quality gear. So I highly recommend that you use a DSLR camera, and a plain 50mm lens is just fine. Now you're going to want to try to take pictures that are difficult for regular people to take with your smartphones. And if you are going to be using DSLR cameras, try modifying your shutter speed and try to play around with it. For example, you could try taking long exposure photos. Long exposure photos tend to sell more. When you're taking these pictures, make sure that there's a concept behind the photo. You have to try to capture photos with intention, and also try to make your photos socially relevant. Another important key is to make sure that your picture elicits some type of emotion or has some type of purpose, such as showing that it's the fall season. Now, photos that do well are in the niches related to food, health, beauty, fitness, money, and business. You also have to remember to leave some room for copy and text for the users to put on the photo. And you should know that photos are not going to be accepted if there are brands, names, or license plates in the background. And if you have models in your photos, they will have to sign a release form. Now that you've taken some pictures, where do you sell those pictures online? Well, the easiest way to find these sites is just to type in stock photos on Google, and you'll find plenty of stock photography websites where you can upload your photos. Now, let me just give you some of the top sites out there. Okay, there is Pond5, which pays 50% of the sale, Alami, which pays 40% royalty per photo, and there is one photographer that I know of who makes $100,000 per year from just this one website. Okay, and there is IEM, which pays 50%. A lot of photographers are having success with this site. And there is Getty, which pays 20 to 30%, but they do sell photos for a much higher price, between $300 to $500. Okay, and 123RF, this stock photo site, the way they work is that the more photos you upload, the higher the royalty percentage that they'll pay you. And there's iStock, which pays 15 to 45% depending on the photo, but they'll pay you a higher rate if your photos are exclusive to their site. And there's Dreamstime, which has a very thorough approval process, but if you do get approved, they'll pay you 25 to 50% royalty and up to 60% if your photos are exclusive with their site. Plus, they'll even pay you an extra 20 cents per photo. And then one of the biggest stock photography websites out there is Shutterstock. They'll give you the most exposure because of their reach, huge customer base, and ability to advertise your photos. And there's Adobe, which will give you almost as much sales but higher sales amounts. And Adobe stock is integrated into the Adobe software. There's iStock Getty Images, which can also get you a lot of sales. Now, what I usually do advise to photographers is to stay away from some of the larger stock agencies, such as Shutterstock, iStock, etc. Because they're publicly held companies, and they're more interested in making their shareholders happy and not the individual contributors. They just don't have the incentive to help contributors grow and make more money. However, if you are a beginner, you may want to try out these larger stock agencies just to test out the waters and to gain experience at first. And then you could try out the smaller agencies such as Dreamstime, Stockfresh, etc. The advantage of working with these smaller agencies is that there's less competition for you as a contributor. But then again, everybody is different, so you have to figure out what works for you. And interestingly, I know of somebody who makes more money uploading to free stock photo sites like Pixabay than other stock photo sites because people have the option to donate to you when they download your photos for free.